Okay, we're on. Hi, we are. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Well, we're here with Jo, and we're just gonna ask her a few. I'm not even asking her questions, but just more of she's gonna tell us a bit about where she's from and how long she's been here in France. And did that just stop? Is it still going?
No, it's
Oh
going.
no, it's still
It's
going.
going.
Yeah, and she's just going to give us a little bit of information on herself and Steve and where they come from in the UK, and yeah, just a bit of info for everyone. So, Jo,
Well, ask me a question.
Okay, so whereabouts in the UK are you from, Jo?
So I'm from the north of England and northwest in on the coast, not far from Manchester, and Steve is from Northampton, which is kind of like the centre of the UK.
Okay.
Centre point, really. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you and Steve have been in France for how long now?
So we've probably been here about 5 years, but not in this place. So we started out in the Alps in a place called Châtel, because we both really like skiing, but we wanted a base to kind of explore France a bit and see where we might like to end up living.
Yeah, right.
And so we stayed in Châtel for, I think it was until about 2018. And we moved here in 2018 to this area.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what attracted you guys to this area, Jo? Anything in particular, or?
Well, Steve's quite impulsive. So,
Love you, Steve.
so he saw some land that he was quite interested in. He'd always wanted to build his own place or to design a place to be built, and so he was looking at land really. I was looking more at houses with like a small garden and and kind of manageable kind of thing. But it was something that Steve had always wanted to do. So we bought this piece of land over about 6 kilometres away from where we are now.
Yeah, nice.
We sort of went through all the process of getting an architect and trying to get builders and stuff like that. And in the end, it wasn't feasible. And we got fed up because we kind of like felt it was taking too long.
Right.
And we wanted to start living in France, kind of now, kind of thing.
Right.
And after we'd done a bit of research, we discovered that actually it wasn't going to take us 18 months like the architect had told us it was going to. It was going to like take us 3 or 4 years. And when you're kind of like 55 and 63, 4 years seems like quite a long way.
True.
And we didn't want to wait 4 years to realise the life that we wanted.
Right. And so obviously you're established here now, Jo?
We've been here about 2.5 years, and it probably took us the sort of year, 18 months that we were promised in the other place
right.
to get the place as we would like it to be, and to have it livable and functional, and somewhere that you can settle.
Cool. Tell us a little bit about this place, Jo, about
what do you want to know?
Just like some of the things you guys have done to it since you've got here, like
well, there was a whole shed load of stuff to be done.
Right.
So the first thing that was the most important thing was the roof, and we were particularly keen that the roof should be sorted first of all. It was a massive expense.
Was the roof was pre-existing, Jo? Like, so there was a roof on the place, but it wasn't great.
It wasn't great. I think you could see daylight through it, and it had been patched a bit, I think, as well. And the thing about properties of this age is that the roofs are fundamental, isn't it? It's a really important part of your building. If you haven't got a decent roof,
you're in a bit of trouble.
You're going to have problems all the way through. Everything else filters down.
Exactly.
So we wanted to get the roof done. this area that we're in now was just really minging, and it had a dreadful kitchen, and we really like sort of living in this open plan sort of thing. We'd had somewhere before which was a bit like this, where you had the kitchen at one end, dining room, and then the living room, and we wanted to have sort of recreate that. And this house was very dark, so we needed to bring something into here which allowed light in. And so this corner that we're in at the moment was really dark and gloomy. The first night we were here, we stayed overnight. Steve got up in the morning to have a shower and put the kettle on, and I came downstairs to get a cup of tea sorted, and the entire contents of the shower were on the kitchen work surfaces, which was really, it was a bit depressing. And then we had an ant infestation,
I think
which was horrible. And we just wanted to clear the whole lot out, the whole space out, make it big and light and airy, and sort of live in the way that we like living. And it was quite hard to do it because nobody does that sort of stuff around here.
True.
And the reason we chose this place, or in particular Steve chose it because he's got a really good eye for stuff like that, was that it was something that we could sort of move things around a bit. We could take walls out and put walls up if we wanted them, because it's quite an open structure. In most houses in France, in the countryside that we were looking at, they're farmhouses, and what happened over the years is that you'd have like a farmhouse, and then the farmer might get a bit more money or a bigger family, so he'd build on another room to the exterior of it, which meant that actually you have lots of really thick exterior walls inside the and a lot of the stuff that we looked at, it was like rabbit warrens full of all these like little higgledy-piggledy bits stuck on, and we wanted a big space that we could knock about without having to take down any major walls. So this was why we were really interested in this place.
It's nice, and it's a absolutely beautiful place.
It is lovely, but we're lucky, aren't we? Because it's in a really great setting, and
beautiful
you've got
setting.
all the stuff that you need here. And the other thing as well is that there were like mature trees, and there was water readily available because we wanted to have like a really good garden. That was really important. That was really important to us. The only thing that we've compromised on is that we don't have like a view. And a lot of people that we know that come and buy properties here buy properties with a view, but then they don't have water because they're on the top of a hill, and they don't have a natural supply of water readily available, and we do. So there's a payoff, isn't there? There's a balance to achieve. So that's why we're here. Nice.
Yeah, it's a beautiful. I've loved it since I've been here.
It's a nice place to be, isn't it?
It's an awesome place to be.
Yeah, it's good.
Just tell us a little bit about your family, Jo. Yours and Steve's.
Well, this is a second marriage for us. So we have 2 children each from previous marriages. And Steve's got 2 boys, 2 girls. Sorry, I forgot about that for a minute. Yeah, I've got the boys. Steve's eldest daughter is in Germany with her husband because he's in the military. And his youngest daughter, Charlotte, is in the UK in Manchester, not far away from the Lake District where we used to live, and Ludden, where I come from. And she works for a ski travel company, because she's another one that's really into skiing.
Well, Jo and Steve are really into skiing, guys, by the way.
And I have 2 boys. I have a boy called Miles, he's the eldest one, and a younger guy called Barnaby. Barnaby is about 23, nearly 24 now. And Miles is 28. And yeah, they're okay. They're both in the UK and doing okay. Yeah.
Nice. So how long have I been here for, Joe? Nearly 3 weeks.
3 weeks, nearly.
I think nearly 3
Yeah.
weeks. I haven't really talked much about like the world packers, like on my videos that I've been making. How would you explain world packers? It's like a volunteer.
Well, it's kind of like an exchange.
Exchange, yeah, an exchange.
It's an exchange. So, from our perspective, we have a big place that has a massive garden.
Yep,
we also, our children are no longer with us, so we don't have any young people here really, and it is really nice to have people that are younger than you around you. It just brings something a bit, otherwise you become old and decrepit before your time. And so it's really nice from that. So from our point of view, we get people to help us with some of the work that we need doing here, and we get young people and a bit of like life coming to the place. And we really enjoy it. We hear about other people's cultures, we hear about their lives and what's important to them. We get to listen to their music, we get to hear about the TV shows that they're watching and the films that they're watching, and stuff like, and social media and things. It's really nice, and I really miss that about not having my children around me, particularly the music, because they kind of you're bringing new stuff in all the time when you're younger, and you stop listening to new music when you're older. So that's a really big deal. And in exchange for that, we provide our world packers with board and lodging, basically. And also, we haven't done it so much with you, and we feel really guilty about that.
Don't.
We also try and kind of like take you out and about into the local area, so you get to do a bit of sightseeing and that kind of thing. But he didn't want to do it. So
we've been kayaking, and that was awesome.
We have been kayaking, but you haven't seen much of the local area. And
I'm a bit of a. You're pretty dry, but in my defence, I have had stuff to do as far as trying to get myself home. And as you guys know, there's been a bit of a different agenda, but no, it's been great, Joe. Really, I've really enjoyed staying here, and I really appreciate you guys having me.
Well, we really appreciate you. You work so hard and so well and so neatly. He's so neat. And he likes my food. He eats it.
Oh, unreal.
Which is a bonus. Not everybody does.
Nah, Joe's a great cook. Yeah, Steve's a great cook too, actually.
He is.
No, I've had a really great time here, Joe. Thank you and Steve a lot.
It's a pleasure.
Can you just quickly touch on because I've mentioned in one of my videos that I wanted to walk the Camino.
Oh, of course,
So
that's
if you could just sort of
thing,
explain to people, because I didn't even know what it was until I met Joe and Steve. They introduced me to it and have sort of developed a passion and desire in me to want to do it. So can you just like let the people know what it is, Joe?
It sort of pulls you in, doesn't it?
Oh, it does, for sure.
The Camino is a long distance walk through, well, really, in theory, from wherever you are. It's from your door, and it's a pilgrimage, and the end point is Santiago. There are lots of different pilgrimages around the world. There's one around Japan that sounds fantastic.
We were talking about that last night, weren't we?
One to Rome, which is also sounds pretty good. But basically, the real proper way to do it is to walk from your door.
Wow.
Yeah, and we didn't do that when we did it, but you're going to do it.
I'm going to do it. Yeah.
So that's really good. And people go on this long distance walk through France or from wherever they're setting off down to Santiago in Spain. And
that's on the west of Spain, Joe?
Well, it's North Spain. It's the north, the sort of, it cuts a path sort of almost directly across the top of Spain.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So you cross the French border into Spain. Usually, I think you're going to cross it at Somport, I think.
Okay.
But not the normal place, or the most popular place is Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port.
Yeah, right.
And
that's because I'm taking a connecting route to get there from here, Joe, isn't it?
Yeah. And so that's a popular spot to go from, but really it's, you know, whichever route gets you there the quickest.
Right.
And yeah, it's just mind blowing. It's people do it for all sorts of different reasons. Some people do it for religious reasons, and really probably all those years ago when it started, that's what it was all about.
Yeah.
But as you know, time has gone on and different people are doing it. People do it because of the physical challenge, because of the culture, because they want to see Spain. Some people do it, I suppose, as a penance, which is probably what it was there originally for, really.
Right.
And Steve and I, well, I'd always wanted to do it. When I say I've always, not always, but probably for about 10 years before we did it.
Wow.
I'd read up about it, and I don't know, I used to read a lot of books about moving to France and having a life in France. And one of the books I read was by a woman who moved to France, and the Chemin de Saint-Jacques, or the Compostela, or whatever you want to call it, Camino, ran past the back of her house. And she decided one day, with the encouragement of a friend of hers, that she was going to walk from her house. And so that was the book that really set me off, thinking, that sounds really great. I've never heard about this before. I'm going to have a look about it and see what I can find out. And then I just started reading books about it, and like loads of books about it. There's a whole library in there.
John and Steve have got a library, literally.
Of books about the Camino. And just really, really wanted to do it. And I suppose when I hit my 50s, there were lots of different goals that I felt that I really wanted to achieve some stuff. So that was one of the things, and we were fortunate enough to be able to do it. We had the money to do it all in one go. We had the time to do it all in one go. I think lots of people do it kind of like maybe a week at a time or a fortnight at a time.
Right.
But I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do the whole lot. Because for me, that was the point of it, that it was, you know, one whole journey. And it was just magical, the most fantastic, the most painful thing that I've ever done. But it was, you know, it was just stunning. It was amazing.
Wow.
And we met lots of lovely people, and we're still friends with them now. And and there was some really sort of spiritual, I suppose you call it, parts of it that, you know, I'm not a very religious person at all. I didn't do it for that reason, but there were moments that were really kind of like awe-inspiring and, you know, reduced us to tears just by kind of like being there. And it was amazing, life-changing.
Wow.
It was life-changing,
That's cool. Yeah, that's what I've just talking to you and Steve about it, and you sharing your experiences with me has really like made me think hard about it. And obviously in the morning I'm gonna just put my pack on and have a go and see what happens.
I think everybody should do a Camino. I think it's, you know, it's such a brilliant experience. And in Spain, a lot of people do it as a kind of way to enhance their CV. And so they, you know, have you ever heard of the Duke of Edinburgh Award in the UK?
I have heard of it, actually.
Yeah, and so in the UK we have like the Duke of Edinburgh Award, and if you do the Gold Award, you put that on your CV, and somebody who's going to employ you looks at it and thinks, wow, they've done Duke of Edinburgh. Same thing in Spain with kids that, you know, come out of school and they go, right, okay, I'm going to walk the Camino, and they put that on their CV, and it's impressive for a potential employer. The only thing is, you only have to walk the last 100 kilometres. You don't have to walk the 800 kilometres.
And how much kilometres did you and Steve cover, Jamie?
I don't know. We went from Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port, and I can't remember how many kilometres.
Like 800
is it
800 something, I think.
Yeah. It was...
and it took you about 30 days?
Well, we started off right at the end of October, I think something like the 26th of October, and we got into Santiago, I think something like the 4th of December, something like that, 6th of December. Yeah, so it took us a while. It was a good time of year to do it. It wasn't too hot.
Yeah, a little bit cooler.
Yeah, it was good.
Oh, that's cool.
but you'll have a lot more choice of hostels when you go. It'll be much warmer.
Yeah,
But at the
right,
moment,
right.
because the weather in France is a bit weird at the moment, and in Spain as well, I think that it'll be a lot easier for you than going in a normal year.
Yeah, right. Well, I hope so. We'll see what happens. No, that's cool, Joe. Thanks for that. Just because I've had a few, like a few people asking me about it, and obviously I've sort of done a little bit of research, but it's better to come from you. You've actually.
I'd go back and do it in a shot.
Wow.
And there were people on there that have walked it every year, and some people that spent their life walking to Santiago and then walking back again. How, and when we finished, we said, we are never going to do this again. we are never, ever going to do this again and put ourselves through this purgatory. And so there were moments where it was quite uncomfortable. But like within about 2 or 3 days, I think we were kind of back in Chatel, and we were sat in bed one morning having a cup of tea, and we said, no, if we had the opportunity to do it again, would you think about doing it? And we both went, yeah, we would. So that's a kind of recommendation, isn't it?
Wow, that's awesome.
It's like childbirth, I think. At the time you go, I'm never doing that again.
Yeah. A little bit later, you got another one on the way. Yeah, that's usually how it happens. You all know about that. You've got 1 million kids. That's awesome. Just a bit of information for like people that have family and things that have been asking, and sort of just gives them a bit more insight into it anyway. And you got a few pets here too, Joe?
Pets, yeah. We've got Oscar and Blaze. Oscar is a border terrier. He's really old.
I shouldn't say pets, members of the family, yeah?
Yeah, they're pets.
Like,
we're callous, heartless people. They're animals, they're dogs, But no, they are valued members of the family. And so Oscar is really old and decrepit. He's got dementia, doesn't know what day of the week it is or whether he's coming or going. He's deaf as a post. And most of the time he's like in a coma. But at tea time, strangely enough, he managed to put a spurt on and kind of like gets a new lease of life where there's food. And Blaze is beautiful, and she's about, I think she must be 10. She must be 10 years old. She's a border collie. She's just a very lovely, loving dog.
She is.
Very affectionate and lovely. And we have 2 cats called Oscar and Monty. Not Oscar. What's he called? Charles and Monty. And then they're called after my favourite gardeners, much to Steve's disgust. and Charles is hugely fat. They're both black. They're both identical, apart from the fact that Charles is huge,
he's pretty huge,
and Monty is really skinny, because Monty does all the mouse catching and puts all the energy into it, and Charles does just eats it. And he's really lazy. But they're lovely. And when they came to us as kittens, Steve is really good at nurturing little animals, and dogs. He trained Blaze, and he just pours a whole load of love into them. And then you get really lovely, affectionate animals back, don't you?
Exactly.
So they are really friendly. They all get on okay together. We thought Oscar, because he's a bit grumpy and he was a bit elderly when they arrived, we were on tenterhooks that he was going to try and savage them to death. But even though he doesn't have any teeth, so he kind of like gummed them to death, didn't he? But after a while, he kind of like got used to them. We'd hold on to his collar and not sort of let him go near them. And then eventually, little by little, we relaxed with him a bit. And he's obsessed with those cats.
I've seen him a few times, yeah.
He even chases mice now, doesn't he?
He had one in his mouth the other night, didn't
he? He did. I suppose he's a ratter, isn't he?
He's a ratter.
But, it's come to him late in life, hasn't it?
No, that's they're really cute. I've never been much of an animal, like I really had animals around, Joe, like not in our immediate family and that anyway, but No, I've really taken to them though. Yeah, they're really.
They're a really nice company.
No, they are.
Nice
They
to
are.
have around, and
Yeah, they are.
on the very rare occasion when Steve has to go off and do some work elsewhere and that kind of thing, they're really good company, and it's nice to have them around.
No, they're really cool. Just tell a little bit about yours and Steve's professions, Joe.
Okay. Well, Steve is he was a businessman really. So he was an agent for a company in Spain that made electric transformers for the national grid. So really big, high voltage equipment, and he would act as the kind of middleman for companies in. It's still going.
Sure, still going.
Still going. In the UK. So that was, he's done that for many, many years. Wow. I think his business was about 30 years old, something like that.
Wow.
And he'd been working with this company in Spain for many years, but he's just retired. So he's really happy about that.
Yep.
And my background is that bit of everything really. I did a degree in graphic design, then I worked for photographers, then I had my first child, and sadly he was or is disabled, so I needed to spend a lot of time as a mum doing stuff like that, so took a bit of time out really, but was working at the same time. So my ex-husband was a photographer. So I'll have a go at that. I can do that. I can do that. How difficult can it be? So then I had my own little business as a photographer, and I also did other bits and pieces. So I've not really had a proper career as such. Just dipped in whenever I needed to do something and earn some money. I just looked around really to see what I could do.
Yep. Well, my mum was a pretty.
Mum is
and a working mum too.
Yeah, it is. It's an important job, but it doesn't really feature as a career goal, does it, for most people?
Yeah, well,
most people just don't think of a career in terms of being a mum.
Yeah, true, but it's probably one of the most important.
It is. Yeah.
Probably the most important thing.
It is. Yeah.
Definitely. What about yours and Steve's hobbies and things that you like to do, Joe?
Steve loves walking, hiking, and
can you just talk a little bit about the when he worked for the
mountain rescue?
The mountain rescue.
So when I first met Steve was a volunteer in the UK for mountain rescue, and that was because we lived in a really mountainous area called the Lake District, and he used to love that. So his job really involved, he would get called out with the rest of the team to go and help out people that maybe got lost on the mountain or maybe broken an ankle or something. That happened a lot, particularly in the late afternoon. That used to happen a lot. Or, there were things like we had some quite severe flooding there, and mountain rescue would get pulled in to deal with that as well, because they had swift water training and that kind of thing. So he used to love that, and he used to love, walking on the fells, that kind of thing. So, do you know what a fell is?
No, not really. Joe?
It's a mountain. It's just an English word for a mountain.
Okay, no,
okay,
so we don't really use it.
No, it's a North England.
Right.
term,
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
So he used to just really enjoy that, and of course he got Blaze, the border collie, as a mountain search and rescue dog, and so that was how she was trained initially.
Wow.
And I suppose it's quite an exciting thing to do, really.
It's pretty cool.
He was,
some of the stories that Steve's told me is
helicopters
unreal,
and stuff
and
like
the few of the videos that he showed me
Yeah.
too was pretty cool.
So it's the exciting stuff, really. So that was the sort of thing that he liked doing.
Wow.
And for me, gardening, really.
Yeah.
I love
You're
gardening.
A keen gardener,
I really like gardening. I could spend all my day out there quite happily. And I like other things like painting, and I do tapestry and stuff like that. But generally, it's gardening.
Yeah. And Joe's actually taught me. I don't know anything about gardening, but she's taught me a few little key elements that I've learned, Joe. So thank you for that, and I've really enjoyed it.
Good.
And like I said, one day hopefully I'll have my own little I've got a lot of stuff to learn, but
well,
it's given me a few ideas anyway.
Yeah, and I'm always on the end of a messenger
Yeah,
thing.
exactly. So no, it's been pretty cool.
Good.
But
and it all starts with the soil.
Soil, true. Yeah, Joe showed me how to do a compost
Pile.
pile.
It's an art form. It's an art form.
Oh yeah, just the process that you have to do to do it. It's like I would have had no idea otherwise.
It's fantastic. Compost is everything. I love compost.
The grass and the weeds, you just throw them away somewhere, but you actually use them. So it's very interesting. But I think there's been a pretty good chat, Joe. What do you reckon?
Thank you very much. That's
great.
I hope it's been useful to you all, and
definitely.
We've heard such a lot about you all, and Michael's obviously very fond of his family, and be great.
Thank you, Joe. Appreciate you and Steve. Thanks a lot. And this is not just for the camera either, but it's been really great coming and spending time with you guys. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. It's been great.
And we'll keep in touch. And
you'll keep me posted, won't you?
Keep us posted about how we go.
I need to subscribe to your YouTube.
Yeah, you might have to subscribe. Hey, subscribe. I think I've got like 16 subscribers or something. That's not what it's about for me. It's just about
listen, you need to get loads of subscribers, and then
you heard it.
You got to do it,
and then
you're an international social media sensation.
Jeez. Just all that stuff. Well, I was always trying to avoid, Joe. But thank you guys heaps for having me. Truly,
it's a pleasure.
It's been an awesome experience for me, and I've learned a lot from you. Truly have. But everyone, that's Joe and Steve.
Bed and breakfast. We do bed and breakfast.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting for. Do bed and breakfast. I'll figure out somehow how to put the link to the Moulin and
Moulin D'alos, yeah.
The Moulin D'alos.
When you find out, will you tell me? Because I've got no idea.
Neither do I, Joe. So we'll figure it out somehow, so people can jump on at least the website, have a look around. At least you know a little bit about Steve and Joe now, and just a beautiful place here.
It's all right, isn't it?
It's all right.
Lucky. We're really lucky.
That's all right. So we'll leave you all at that. As Joe said, subscribe, leave a comment, whatever. It's up to you. But
there you go.
Yeah, thanks, Joe. Appreciate your time.
It's a pleasure.
Okay, guys. Well, you take care, and we'll see you on the next one. Walking somewhere, I'm guessing.
Absolutely.
Cool.
I look forward to it.
Okay.
See ya.